Hey, good morning, guys and gals. This is my morning brief video for December 14th, 2022. Please retweet my video on Twitter at Gumby9662C if you get a chance, and please like my video if you like it. So some things I'm looking at here, we're into some critical resistance using my 22 EMA study. Really difficult area to get through. So what I'm looking for here, we got Powell at 2 o'clock today, I think, coming out, going to make the rate decision. So what I'm looking for is a RSI bleed lower into that news, right, getting down into the 30, 35 handle here on ESs. So let's keep an eye on that on the 1 hour time frame. So that's what I'm looking for, flat to lower markets leading into the Powell to reset our RSI for the announcement. So that is my primary thesis today. So we'll see what's going on there. NQs, looking for the similar situation. What I do have on NQs, on the 1 hour here, we got a double bottom. So this is slightly more bullish than what you're seeing in the other indices because we do have a double bottom on our RSI down here, suggesting if we do go higher, we're probably going to see relative strength in some of the technology space. So just keep that in mind here. We are bleeding a little bit faster this morning here on that one. Uh, Still similar situation. I'm on the 1 hour. I'm looking for a bleed lower on our RSI to going into the news event this afternoon. So if we can get our relative strengths indicators reset for the news, then we'll see what happens here. But because we do have a higher high on our RSI, the natural bias for the close today is to be trading up here near the range highs. So be mindful of that because we did put in that higher RSI. The natural bias is for a close near the range highs. So definitely keep that in the back of your mind as you're trading today. Ready? Okay. Similar situation. We got the higher high on the RSI, so you got to lean towards the range high possibility. That is your primary. But like I said, you don't have the double bottom on this one here either. So we may need to build out time, here, build a little bit more support. We're into a very critical area for a breakout pattern. Okay, so very, very serious resistance here in the markets. So and much of the shorts have already covered at this price level. So you have to be mindful here. You literally got to get a flood of new capital coming in to push price whenever the shorts, there's not a huge short float in the markets. So keep that in mind. A lot of the shorts have already covered to get to this point. So that's why we're kind of stalling out here. So be mindful of that. So it would be nice to see some sort of a stronger base, in my opinion, here on the 1 hour to try to drive break us out. I don't think it's a bit the structure is there to for a an early breakout in today's session. I don't even see I really don't see a strong move into the Powell speech either. So, like I said, I'm looking for flat to lower to reset our RSIs. That's my primary thesis. Okay. Some other things I'm looking at this morning, and you're using these RSIs here. I got a momentum bear scanner, so that would be the first thing I'm looking at this morning. And on my scan this morning on volume, okay, so we got gold, Barrick gold, okay. Uh, we have a bearish divergence happening here. So even though that huge rally yesterday, the RSI was weaker. Relative strength was weaker for Barrick gold, despite putting in higher highs. So we do have a bearish divergence scenario, possible fade here on Barrick gold. So I did notice in general across the metals space, silver, gold, they all seem to have some bearish divergences going on. So you might be seeing some weakness in the metals space today. Google, okay. We did manage to slightly put a higher RSI in, so that one's a little bit more tricky. Okay. Uh, so I'm keeping this on, keeping this one on watch. Really not seeing uh, a strong case on any type of divergences, in my opinion, on that one there. So what I do in that case, I go to XLC, and what I'm seeing right there, we're coming off. Uh, so basically, they built a base on price, even though the relative strength got worse. So this is, in my opinion, typically a more bullish pattern. Okay, that prices couldn't come down, even though the relative strength was getting weaker, they couldn't break prices lower. So that's generally a more bullish scenario. So be aware. It does seem like they're trying to support the social media stocks. So that one there would be one area to be looking for today for some bullishness. Okay. And while I'm looking at these indices, so other ones that here, XLE. XLE, guys, we do have a bullish divergence on that one. So bottom line is we were coming down on XLE, but we were putting in higher highs on relative strength. They were slowing it down on less momentum. Okay, and now we're coming back up. And as you can see, right here was the last touch right here. Yeah, okay. So our next target, uh, so right here, where this stopped out right here, that would be continuation. If we could get up back above, right up here, 87.25 on XLE, that would be a bullish breakout, and it's not looking too bad on that. We're not too far from that, so keep an eye on a potential bullish breakout here on XLE today in today's session. So that one there is really looking good on the bullish side, and then see which one was it? XLF. I didn't even look at the XLF this morning. So on XLF, what we got going on here, we do have, uh, okay, not really any divergences. The only thing I got going on here, we had strong relative strength yesterday, but we did not manage to break out to new highs because we were off such a small base here. So you had to be mindful of that. Um, we were way oversold there. Really not giving me anything on XLF. 1 second here. Let's see, what was the other one? There's one that was really standing out this morning. Oh, XLV. XLV. So as risk, that sentiment does seem to be uh, uh, taking hold right here. I do want to point out here we got pretty well a flat on our relative strength on XLV, despite trying to break out to new highs on our healthcare space. So we got like a bearish divergence, a potential bearish divergence price. Uh, we're not being supported by relative strength for a price breakout in our XLV. And we actually saw that in UNH yesterday. UNH was one of the few Dow components down yesterday. So keep in mind here, if we are getting rotation into consumer discretionary, that would be monies might be start coming out of like UNH and Amgen. Amgen doing that massive debt for buying out Horizon Therapeutic. This one here looks like it could be in a lot of trouble going forward here. So I'm keeping a really close eye on Amgen. The first day of the announcement, I was looking for the short side, but they held it that day. And pretty well held it. And but if you're a longer term trader, Amgen short looks like a good possibility going forward here. Also here on the bearish side, on my bearish scans this morning, we got Lucid here. Lucid's one of the Chinese stocks here. We're going lower here on Lucid. Initially this morning, we're seeing a little bit of bearish action because the China internets are, not looking too hot this morning. But Lucid, I'm starting to watch. We got a bullish divergence happening here. So it's going lower on lighter volume. Okay, so this one here looks like it could be turning at any moment. Another one I was looking at this morning was Coinbase. Similar situation. We got a bullish divergence happening on Coinbase, setting up for possibly a bottom pickers scenario here for Coinbase. A lot of these Chinese internets, Baba was one of them I was looking at. We do have bearish. Looks like there's money coming out of the China internet space. We do have, we're putting in a double topping scenario up here, but on lighter momentum. So, and that's pretty well on all of these shiny internets. It looks like yesterday we actually started marking a bearish divergence, versus the suggesting that there might be some monies coming out of the Chinese internet areas. Now, on the bullish scan this morning, okay, I don't even know what that one is. Ford's topping my list here. Okay, I can't really say too much about Ford there. Really don't have that many. We do have a higher high on our RSI. Can't really say too much on that one. GDX. Yeah, that one there is bearish divergence, lower high here. Okay, even though we're up here pretty much close to a double top. Yeah, we actually put a higher high yesterday on GDX with a lower RSI. So that's a bearish divergence. This is, like I said, the metals. We got the Dixie here too, or Occidental. Looking promising here. Really not getting that divergence though. It's going to go. Energy in general is looking pretty good. Halliburton was looking pretty good as well. We got Lennar reporting tomorrow night. It was giving us a little bit of a bearish divergence. So we're breaking out on Lennar going into earnings tonight, and just a very slight higher RSI on that. So just be aware of that. You might be getting a little bit of a bearish divergence on Lennar. Also on volume this morning, Coca-Cola. So we got a double top on the RSI, double top, slightly higher top here on the on price. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of a bearish divergence. If we are going to go into a breakout scenario of this pattern into the bullish case, then this here should be a continuation lower pattern as some of the money would come out of the XLP into the more riskier areas of the market. Some other things I'm looking at this morning, and I always look at Apple. I'll finish it off real quick here, guys. So we do have, excuse me here, we have a double bottom on the price with a slightly higher high on the RSI. Okay, so we are getting a bullish divergence, in this pattern in a bigger time frame here on the, and then we had a higher high in our RSI as well, but we still haven't put in a higher high in the price. Okay, so we did have some outperforming relative strength here on Apple. So let's keep a close eye on this one here. What we're seeing here, I'm looking for this thing to base sideways to slightly lower, and hopefully it won't take out yesterday's lows. Okay, so like I said, if you're bullish, you don't want to be seeing Apple taking out yesterday's afternoon's lows. Okay, but I'm looking for an RSI reset going into the Powell. So let's keep a close eye on that. Amazon is one of the most powerful patterns we got going on here. So we do have we were putting in excuse me. So we did put in a higher high on our RSI. So I'm definitely keeping this one on watch here. Okay, so we do have a little bit more relative strength than what we had with this prior swing high, but we're at a lower price point too. So keep that one on watch too. Not really seeing a divergence though. So we got a double bottom scenario here. Double bottom here on our RSI. Okay. You have to go out a little bit bigger time frame. Okay. And but we're still putting in lower highs. That's the problem. So we got a double topping scenario on our RSI. So this is still a little bit more bearish. We should have this price up here for the RSI being up here. Okay, so this is actually looking a little bit more bearish, in my opinion. So yeah, just keep that one on watch. We want this to be one of the leaders for a breakout scenario. Okay, so that I was looking at that yesterday morning. I actually took the Amazon puts and stopped out for break even. I saw, a similar this situation here. We should have been up at this price point for this double top on the RSI, and we weren't there. Okay, I'm going to quit talking here. Please, like I said, like the video if you get a chance. Thanks a lot for listening.